Let me ask you something. Have you ever been sitting in a room full of people, people laughing, talking, having a great time, and yet you were somewhere else entirely? Lost in a story, lost in a conversation that hasn't happened yet, lost in a version of your life that only exists inside your head. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you, because today we're going to talk about something that most people never say out loud. There are people walking around every single day who look completely fine on the outside. They go to work, they show up to social events, they laugh at the right moments, but on the inside, they're living in a completely different world. A world where they said the right thing. A world where people actually understand them. A world where they feel free. And then someone calls their name and they snap back to reality, like waking up from the most vivid dream. Sound familiar? So why does this happen? Why do some people feel more alive in their imagination than in the real world? The first reason is safety. The real world is risky. People can reject you. Things can go wrong. You can fail, embarrass yourself, get hurt. But in your imagination, you're in control. Nobody can reject you there. Nobody can hurt you there. Everything goes exactly the way you want it to. The second reason is past pain. A lot of people who live deeply in their imagination grew up in environments where they had to earn love, where they were criticized more than they were appreciated, where they learned early on it's safer to keep things inside. So they built a world inside their mind, where they were finally safe. And the third reason? These people simply feel more. They're more sensitive than the average person. A small comment hits them harder. A piece of music makes them cry. And the noise of the real world, the demands, the pressure, the small talk, it exhausts them. So they retreat into the one place that makes sense, their own mind. Now here's a question worth asking. Is this actually a bad thing? A lot of people will say, yes, face reality. Stop daydreaming. But here's what I think. Almost every great story ever written, every piece of music that made you feel something, every invention that changed the world, came from someone who spent a lot of time inside their own head. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. So this ability to create entire worlds inside your mind, that's not a weakness. That's a gift. But, and there is a but, when your imagination becomes an escape hatch, when you're running to your inner world not because it brings you joy, but because the real world feels too painful to face, that's when it becomes a problem, Zay. So here's a simple way to check in with yourself. Ask yourself honestly, do I go into my imagination because it genuinely brings me joy? Or do I go there because real life feels too hard? If it's the first one, that's healthy. That's creativity. Keep going. If it's the second one, that's a signal. A signal that something in your real life needs attention. Maybe a relationship, maybe a dream you've been avoiding, maybe an old wound that never really healed. Your imagination is not the problem. It's pointing you towards something that is. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, stop fighting it. Don't shame yourself for having a rich inner world. That's part of who you are, and it's a beautiful part. Second, let it out. Start writing down the worlds you build in your head. Draw them. Make music. Tell someone about them. The imagination you've been keeping private? It deserves to exist in the real world too. Third, build one small bridge every day. Do one thing each day that connects you to real life. Have one honest conversation. Take a walk outside. Try something new. Because here's the truth. Real life isn't as scary as our fear tells us it is. It's messy. It's unpredictable. It's sometimes painful. But it's also the only place where things actually happen, where real connections are made, where your story actually moves forward. I want to leave you with one final thought. If you feel more alive in your imagination than in real life, you are not broken. You are not weird. You are not alone. There are millions of people who feel exactly the way you do. And that depth you carry, that sensitivity, that inner world, it's not your flaw. It's your greatest strength. You just have to be brave enough to let it touch the real world. Because the world you've been building in your head, Someone out there needs to see it. If this video hit close to home, drop a comment below and tell me, do you feel more alive in your imagination or in real life? I read every single comment, and honestly, your answers are the best part of making these videos. And if you want more content like this, stuff that actually makes you think, stuff that feels real, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. This channel is for the overthinkers, the deep feelers, the people whose inner world is bigger than anyone around them realizes. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.